Welcome, Philly, to your favorite sports show, Babes on Broad, hosted by Jesse Town and Sam Wilson. They're smart, they're sexy, and they're all Philly. So thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome into week 3 of Babes on Broad pregame live. I am Sam Wilson and this is Jesse Town, and we are the Babes on Broad, brought to you by Bleeding Green Nation and SB Nation. So before we even get into the talk, I just want to say we're drinking champagne to start this because we got a little celebrating to do. Yes. So the babes are engaged, for those that don't, not to each other, but for those that don't know. Just to clarify, we had some mishaps. People think
we've had mishaps in the past.
Yes. But no, so yesterday was awesome. Jess got proposed to on Belmont Plateau. So it was beautiful. Got to see the city. Only right for Jess. And actually, everybody knows Jess is really diehard. And look at it. It's got the Philly skyline.
Got the skyline right in the middle.
That's such a Jess
a good job.
I love it.
Such a good
job. Soon to be Jess Taylor.
Woo!
Yes.
So we're drinking. We're
so
celebrating.
We'll switch to sangria later. So we got it all planned out today. It's a little gray, so hopefully the Eagles will be able to pick it up for us today and get their first win of the 2020 season. They're taking on the Bengals today at 1 in South Philly. And
Go Birds.
Yeah. Before we get to that, though, what are we eating today?
We are having we're doing homemade today. So we got lemon chicken, we've got some orzo salad, but we also, the staple, have some tomato pie from Collegeville Italian Bakery, which I'm super excited to dig into. All of that food.
It's always the best.
Oh, so good. They're the best.
If you haven't been to Collegeville Bakery, you have to stop by because we follow them on social media. They're always posting the new stuff they get, and it's delicious. I saw yesterday they had like a Twix milkshake, a Twix milkshake sandwich. It was amazing. So
they actually commented on my Instagram and congratulated Joe.
They're the best.
Yes. Like, they're so nice. They're the best. It's such a family feel. I love going in there because you feel like a big Italian family.
It is.
Love it.
Okay, so back to
and we're drinking champagne currently.
Oh yeah,
and we will be drinking sangria later with the Post Malone rosé. It's made with apparently. So Post Malone makes rosé these days. Who the heck knew? Who the heck knew?
Okay, so we're going to the injury report. We just got word, actually, from one of our people here that Fletcher Cox is active. That was kind of a concern throughout the week because he was questionable. He tried to play Friday, and Doug kind of wasn't giving us an answer. So he's active. That makes me feel better. Even though the Cincinnati run game isn't their most threatening thing. I mean, you really have Mixon and then Burrow. Yeah, Burrow's been their second leading rusher every time. So that's going to be interesting. So it's going to be a good game, but I think it feels better with Fletcher Cox. And then we have Isaac Seumalo. He's on IR after getting injured last week. They have not put in who's going to be his official replacement yet and who's going to start in his spot.
They were moving the line around a little bit. They were messing with Jack Driscoll over there a little bit, but they also were talking about moving Nate Herbig over there and then putting Matt Pryor at right guard. So I guess we'll see, but I think it's going to be some combination of Herbig and Pryor, and we'll see kind of what side they put them on and what makes the most sense for the Eagles. But the line played a much better game last week, so I'm not super, super concerned. And even after kind of Seumalo went down and they put Pryor in there, they still were doing okay from, what their jobs were. The rest of everything was not great, but their jobs, they were doing fine.
Yes.
Obviously another situation to keep an eye on. Jalen Reagor's obviously out today. He had surgery on his thumb on Thursday. I think it was.
Or Wednesday or Thursday.
I don't remember what day it was. He had surgery on his thumb this week, so Thursday. He is out. Alshon Jeffrey practiced all week, which was good because he had a day of practice and then continued to practice. He is still out this week. He is not in the game. He is on their inactive list. Also, to note, they did elevate Deontay Burnett from the practice squad, as well as who else? Graylin Arnold. But Deontay Burnett is active today, an active wide receiver. And obviously he played well last year when he came up and had a pretty good rapport with Carson Wentz. So do we rely on him or JJ Arcega-Whiteside to carry the team until who knows? Keep drinking and then you'll find out.
The fact that they bring him up kind of shows that they might not have the most confidence in JJ. So we'll see how that works. Or it could be not as confident in Hightower. We can think of it like that.
Who knows?
Hopefully.
But also to note, Jalen Hurts is active as well.
Yes.
He will be the number 2 quarterback today. Nate Sudfeld is inactive. Also, Rudy Ford, who we assumed would be inactive. Jason Huntley is inactive. Jamon Brown and Casey Toohill, they're all inactive today. So really the only big note there, I think, on the actual inactive list, the only big surprise is, not even surprise. The most notable thing there is that Nate Sudfeld is inactive today and Jalen Hurts is your backup quarterback. Maybe we'll see him get involved a little bit more on offense. Maybe they'll get a little bit more creative. We can only hope. Everything crossed. But yeah, so that's the, no real surprises there. They made it through last week. Obviously, Sayamalu, the left guard, that's a loss, but they made it through week 2 a little less injured than they did week 1 or training camp. So they didn't lose too much. So far, so good. Still
have Lane.
Still have
Obviously
Lane, which
big,
is great.
Cake.
Yep, and he was limited in practice most of the week to kind of keep him fresh, keep him healthy. But I'm totally good with that. And it's a different game when he's out there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we were talking about in our shows previously, the podcasts that come out during the week, is that you kind of expect that. So some of the guys you really hate to see getting load management, like Deshaun and situations like that. But at the same time, you see guys like Kelsey and Lane getting load management, and that kind of makes sense because Kelsey plays every single play.
Yep.
So keep him, give him the rest he needs. And then also Lane, obviously, he's doing all he can just to play, not 100%. Yeah. Make sure he's staying at the top percentage he can be at.
Yeah, for sure. So keeping those guys on the line healthy and fresh, I think, is the best thing for them. Obviously, Jason Kelsey and as guys like Jason Peters, older, want to make sure they're fresh, ready to go for Sunday. And they've been playing well, especially, last week against Aaron Donald, they had a great game. Lane Johnson had a quote this week that he said something like it was like trying to move a tree stump, which I think is accurate. But Aaron Donald had his worst rated game since 2016. So that is a win for an offensive line that was playing terribly. Oh, there's a bee.
It's the champagne.
The champagne really that's so true. There were bees everywhere yesterday when we had the champagne. But okay, so let's get into some of our key matchups to watch in this game. So I think one of the most interesting matchups. Oh God, this bee is really getting me right now. The most interesting matchup for me is going to be. Yeah, let's get rid of that champagne. It's going to be the linebackers versus the 2 tight ends of the Bengals. So the tight ends had a really good week last week against the Browns. Drew Sample and CJ Uzoma? I think Uzoma. I don't know how to pronounce it specifically. I should have looked that up. That's on me. My day was a little thrown out of whack yesterday. Did you just get stung? What are we doing? Okay, we got it.
Okay, yeah. Should we just
okay. Hoping that helps.
Sorry about that. It was in my eyelash.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst. So that's one that we need to watch. I think, obviously, the linebackers that the Eagles have are subpar. There's no other way to say it. The linebackers are subpar. And when for a team that banks so much on the front 4, and then you add in, oh my God. This is ridiculous. We're so sorry about this bee.
We're gonna note champagne, maybe not the best pregame drink.
No, it brings the bees.
Fall. Yes.
But in coverage. So the Higbee last week had just a field day on Nathan Gary, and the linebackers were super exposed last week. And it makes you remember how much you would wish you had a guy like not only a Jordan Hicks or a Kamu Grugier-Hill, but even LJ Fort, in the 4:00 matchups last week, he had a hell of a day. And even guys like Patrick Queen, who was taken in the first round over the right after the Eagles had their pick, and obviously, we needed a wide receiver. Yeah. That's obvious. But guys who value linebackers. And we took a project linebacker in the 3rd round who could probably eventually still do something good for the Eagles. But right now, special teams is really all you're going to hope to get out of him. The best linebacker they have on their roster right now is TJ Edwards, and they're not utilizing him enough because they do primarily only have 2 linebackers on the field at once. And for some reason, it's been obviously Nathan Gary, but TJ Edwards really hasn't been the other guy that they put out there so far. And I think in coverage, he's a guy I would like to see because he's so much more athletic than a guy like Nathan Gary or
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a big part of today's game. And CJ Uzomah, you should have looked that up. But yeah, so he's been one of their key targets for the first 2 weeks too. So Drew Sample, he had a big week last week, but Uzomah has been playing tough the entire year so far. So it'll be a key matchup for sure. And then also the secondary, most notably Darius Slay with AJ Green and Tyler Boyd. So that'll be big. He'll have to lock down them. And then more so on the other side, Maddox, whoever he's going to get. Because that's one thing we talked about is Burrow does have a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, he's got weapons.
Yeah, I don't know. Sure. Yeah, and they're not really like big name weapons, but he just has the ability to spread the field. So that's going to be a problem for our secondary going in today.
Super agree. And I think it'll be interesting to see if they, because Jim Schwartz has always been, he hasn't really had a number one kind of corner that he had following around the best receiver on the opposite side. And he was kind of, putting it was, you stayed on your side, right? And it didn't matter what the offense did to line up. It wasn't a guy following the number one receiver around. So it'll be interesting to see if they, because Darius Slay was following around Terry McLaurin. And, last week he was kind of around Robert Woods. So it'll be interesting to see if, because they've got 2 really good receivers there, they will kind of keep them on the side, and it won't depend who that's going to go to. Or if he's going to have, Darius Slay on AJ Green and follow him around and Maddox on the other side. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens there and what Jim Schwartz does, because I think Jim Schwartz needs to step up his game big time this week.
I agree. Sure. With that being said, what's your key to the defense this week?
So my key to the defense this week is 100% going to be a more complex scheme. Jim Schwartz kind of took the blame on himself last week and said, he did not have a satisfactory game plan going into play the Rams. And as much as people want to be like, oh yeah, he took ownership. To me, yes, I appreciate that he took ownership, but also like that just says to me that he thinks he's almost like either outsmarted himself or is just like, oh, I don't need a bet. Like, we can do this. And your defense has not been great the last couple of years. And it's been a big point of concern. And obviously there have been injuries, there have been issues, whatever, but it relies too much on the front 4. And as much as, we talked about last week, how, there are times when it is just, Fletcher Cox is so dominant at some points that he takes a double or triple team and his numbers are not going to be in the stat sheet. But at some point you want to see those numbers for what you pay.
Yeah.
So your line is not getting nearly enough pressure, and that's inexcusable when you have guys like Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Hassan Ridgeway, Malik Jackson, Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett. Where you at, brother? Like, I'd like to see you a little bit in here. Josh Sweat, he's been kind of the highlight so far, and he's not playing nearly enough snaps as I think he should personally, but that's just me. So I think Jim Schwartz needs to come in with a much better game plan. It needs to not be simple. It needs to be a complex game plan, because the easiest thing for them to do right now is to force the issue, create turnovers by using a complex defense to force Joe Burrow into making some rookie mistakes. I think that is the best thing they can do.
A great point.
At the end of the day, he's a rookie. Is he a good rookie? Yes, but he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. By confusing him and putting some things out there that change things up a little bit on him and make him think one thing, and you are able to jump a pass here or there, or, they need to be able to, they need to take advantage of Joe Burrow is essentially what they need to do.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think my key so far is I kind of just hit it. So I think the offensive line, they should have a fairly good game. I mean, obviously,
the Bengals.
We already mentioned
the Eagles' offensive line or the Bengals?
I mean, sorry, the Eagles' defensive line.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, right. Composed.
Got it.
But no, I think they should have a fairly easy game, because I already mentioned it. They really just have to watch Mixon and Burrow. Those are their leading rushers. Yeah. So if you can contain them, which I think they should be able to do fairly easy today, I think that'll be fine. My biggest key is what we already hit on, is the secondary. They need to lock down all those weapons. And I think it's going to be hard for him because of that ability to be able to spread the field. Kind of worries me because the Eagles, obviously, they catch up, but they're not really there to stop the play, to intercept, to make the tackle right away. So I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think this is going to be one of those weeks where I think we talked about on our episode this week when they went in to play the Giants a couple years ago, and it was on a short week, and it was it was one of those things where they had been playing so poorly that they needed all three facets of their team to be playing well. And they needed all three. They needed offense, defense, and special teams all to have a really good day. And that's exactly what they did. It was a bad football team, and they went up and they got the win, and they executed in all three aspects of the game. That's what they need to do today.
I agree.
On the offensive side of the ball, they need to run the football. I mean, last week, the Bengals gave up over 200 yards on the ground to Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I think it was 3 touchdowns as well. Forced the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, they did the same thing last year when they went up to Green Bay. Carson threw for, I think, 160 yards. I think a couple touchdowns in there because they were screen passes that the offensive line really blocked well for. And they forced the issue. They ran the football. They had a great 1-2 punch with Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders, and they had a really good game. Give the ball to Miles Sanders, use Boston Scott a little bit, get Corey Clement in there involved. I think if they run the ball and force that issue and they don't abandon that too early as they tend to do, this is going to be a game that is winnable for them. And they don't need to put everything on Carson Wentz, and they don't need to get behind and try to come back. Run the ball, control the clock, and call better plays.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. I think that is the key to this specific win. But I'm going to say my key for the offense this week is kind of just to get that confidence back in this offense and get the fans' confidence, but then also the players' confidence back in themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that all wraps up with Carson improving what he can improve. I think that's a key for today's win, and then also going into the season where everybody's not running around with their hair on fire. So I think Carson just needs to improve in what he can improve, things that we've seen him lack lately, which is his accuracy, which has been concerning the first 2 games, and then also things like his field vision. So I'm looking for that today from the offense.
Yeah, I think it's one of those days where it's unfortunate against the Cincinnati Bengals that we're having this conversation.
Yeah, right.
And they're like, oh, yes, rookie Joe Burrow is going to get his first NFL win against the bum Eagles. And it's like, I want to die. But I think it's one of those games where everyone needs to, yes, I totally agree with this comment. They need to stay aggressive from the start, but everyone also needs to control what they can control. Everyone needs to improve what they can control. And from there, if everyone does that, they collectively come together as a team, a big team week, and they step up and perform in all. We need to force some turnovers. You need to see the fruits of your labor on the defensive end this week. And the offense needs to step it up big time. And that starts across the board. That's Doug. Love that.
Yes.
It starts with Doug. Carson needs to make better decisions, and everyone else needs to kind of step up and do the same thing as well. And they need to fight for each other on that field. And I think that's kind of what they need to do. So with that, Sam, what is your prediction, final score for the Eagles this week?
Okay, so for the Eagles,
and flood the comments while we're here. Flood the comments with your final score predictions.
Yes. So for the Eagles versus Bengals, obviously, I promise I'm not always going to just choose the Eagles. Like, I'm trying to stay as unbiased as I can. But I do think the Eagles win this week. Both teams are going to be fighting for their first victory of the season. And I like Joe Burrow, and I think he's going to have that winning mentality and really try to make something happen. But I think the Eagles are the better team. So as long as they run the ball, Carson gets better on what he can do, play calling. So all the things we already said. I think the Eagles win, but they win close. And I think it's going to be high scoring. So 30-27 Eagles.
Yeah, I'm totally with you there. And I think regardless, it's still going to be a close game. And I think that's just because I think exactly what you said. Rookie Joe Burrow, I think he's got good weapons. And I think that he has the ability to put some points up. So I think it's going to be 35-31 Eagles. I will never pick against the Eagles. I'm never going to do it. The Eagles also just got picked for 5 on NFL Countdown. So we've got some backing today.
Yeah.
29-17 Eagles, but Carson will still have things to improve on. I will still take that. A win is a win. 28-17 Eagles. I like it. I support it. A mini shootout of 21-17. That is the worst shootout of all time.
Yeah, right.
That is literally
But
that is quite honestly the worst shootout of all time.
But honestly, so that's one thing. When I was doing my score prediction, I was thinking the Eagles haven't even scored above 20 so far this season.
Yep.
So I'm kind of just going along with the hope that we're going to see that offense we know can happen. And I hope it does. What'd you see?
No, I'm just thinking about the fact that the Eagles haven't scored over 20 points so far. I was like,
yeah. So
I had to think about it and then was like, damn, you're right.
Yeah, so it is one of the things they should be able to beat this team with a high scoring thing. But if their offense still struggles like we've seen, it's very possible we can see a score like that. So I know.
That would be the most pathetic
when reality hits.
thing ever. Like that will be like, okay, to be completely honest, I don't even think the Eagles, I'm in such a good mood. The Eagles can't even ruin my mood today. But that will make it like a mini shootout where it's like just a scrappy,
I just
ugly
want
game.
a good game. You want a good game.
I need points scored, people.
Yeah.
I need points scored.
Yeah.
Points
Agreed.
scored is what I need here. All right, let's go for around
the NFC East.
All right, let's see.
Like my sound effects?
I do. That was good.
I don't know if it's effects. But.
All right, the Washington football team at the Cleveland Browns. What do you think?
Okay, so I mean, I don't think this is going to be the greatest game. Washington has their defense and the Browns have a couple weapons, so I think that's really what they have. And I think it's going to be close. So 24-23, Washington.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. See, I look back at my score predictions.
I don't want Washington to
and
win,
I realized that I refuse to pick any NFC East team to win other than the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't do it on purpose. It just kind of happens that way. I just think the Browns have more weapons, and I think as much as I don't think Baker Mayfield is great, I think he's better than Dwayne Haskins. So I think that he can get, and he's also, I mean, this is his second year with guys like Odell, with Jarvis Landry. So I think he can kind of take a step forward, and he's only in his third year now. So I think he can continue to improve, and I think that run game that they've got is super impressive. Obviously, the defensive front for Washington, we have some experience with. We've seen they're very good, but I think that they've got so many weapons on the Browns offense that they will be able to have a good day today against Washington. Right. So I have 24-17 Browns.
I can honestly see it going either way with those teams. I think they're kind of evenly matched there.
Yeah, and
with how good Washington's defense is and how
many weapons
potentially,
for sure.
Yeah.
So next we have the Toilet Bowl, the 49ers at the Giants. No one is playing in that game. Saquon Barkley unfortunately tore his ACL. Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. George Kittle is not playing. He got hurt. Raheem Mostert, did he tear his ACL?
I don't think he did. I think Bosa
sprained his MCL. Bosa tore his ACL. Yeah. So, I mean, this is, and I think Sterling Shepard just went on IR as well. So, I mean, this is just an absolute mess. I don't know who's playing in this game, who's going to help anybody win. I think it's going to be just a garbage game. I wouldn't recommend watching it unless you're a fan of one of these teams. And in that case, the Eagles are 0-2, but I feel sorry for anybody that's a fan of these teams right now because this is just
injuries suck. No matter what team.
Is 0-0 a valid prediction for this game? Honestly, maybe. Overtime at 0-0,
right?
Brutal.
So what's your prediction? You didn't give your score. You gave your...
Oh, yeah. I have 20-10 Niners.
Okay.
That is my score. Daniel Jones going to three or four touchdowns and still lose. I think that's definitely possible.
Yeah. Who knows? But I'm similar with you. I think it's just going to be a toilet bowl. I don't think there's going to be many points scored. I don't think it's going to be fun to watch. I think it's going to be 17-13 San Fran.
That is just a bad game. That's worse than the last. That's worse than the mini shootout with the Eagles and the Browns, honestly.
It's a bad one.
And the last one, we have Cowboys at Seahawks. We actually have some random Seahawks fan at this tailgate event right now, which is very strange to me. He walked in a Seahawks jersey, and people were pretty upset about it, given what happened last year in the playoffs. But they're playing Dallas today, so it is acceptable today only.
Agreed.
Today only.
So with that game, obviously, I think it's going to be high scoring. Both teams, as much as I hate to say it, the Cowboys do have that good potential there. So I think they're going to put up points. I think they're going to be able to run with the Seahawks. I think it's going to be 31-28 Seahawks.
31-28 Seahawks.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's going to be some points scored in this one. I think this is actually going to be a really good game. I have Seahawks winning 35-27. I don't disagree with this. Russell's a certified MVP. He's always in the conversation every year. I still think it's blasphemous that he hasn't won one yet, but I think he absolutely
he's underrated.
And that's amazing to me.
Mhm.
He's a Super Bowl champion. He's always in the conversation for it, and he's still so underrated.
Yeah.
I really like that guy.
I think it's just because he does what he needs to. He's not really a showboat. He doesn't do, you know what I mean? He just gets the job done, and I think that doesn't play in his favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
The best part.
This is my favorite part.
Yes.
We're going to get our prop bets in.
So
we
everybody,
have to
you
gather
gotta.
our people around.
Oh.
Oh, we have to gather everybody around. Oh, how are we going to do this?
Yes. Let's just go with them. We'll just do it with the people.
All right, we're going to get our prop bets going, but we're
Yeah.
going to get everybody else involved in a second. So we're trying to get everybody here. Everybody, start flooding the comments with your prop bets. If you have random trivia questions, we've got a couple that we got last night. We're actually, I'm actually pretty impressed with some of this trivia. I think it's pretty funny. So, yes. All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Who will have more yards today? Joe Burrow or Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz. We've got a Carson Wentz.
I like the Carson Wentz, but because I think the key to this win is running the ball, I'm going to say Burrow has more yards today. Because he also, are we talking? Wait. Yeah, because we also didn't specify passing or rushing.
Yes.
So I think Burrow has been their second leading rusher so far.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Who has more yards today? Joe Burrow or Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz. Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Yards.
Joe Burrow's been their second leading rusher in both games. And we're talking all-purpose yards. And he's got the potential to spread the ball out.
Carson Wentz or Joe Burrow today, people? More yards. Burrow?
Yeah, I think it's
Carson
Burrow.
Wentz. We're very mixed here.
I think it's Burrow. It's okay. They're still get the win, guys. It's okay. You can say
Wentz
Burrow.
because Burrow's going to give the ball away more. Okay.
You have to create turnovers. But,
Burrow, Miles rumbles. I like that.
Yeah, see, that's
what
the
we're
thing.
saying. I
Yeah.
love that. All right. Who has a bigger day? The two Bengals tight ends or the two Eagles tight ends?
Eagles tight ends is all we have.
Yeah. I think it's going to be close, but I do think that Goddard and Ertz have this one.
I need a big day from both of them. Like, let's get a big elite tight end day out here. Who has more? Who does better? Flood the comments. I'm not getting enough comments here. Let's see. Eagles tight ends each get the touchdown.
Ooh,
support
I like it.
I support it. I like
it.
that. I support it. Over under 3 field goals for Jake Elliott today.
What's my prediction? Okay, so I say 3, I think. Yep, 3.
So you're going to push it. Okay.
I'm pushing.
Over under. I'm not getting enough responses. You're all sitting here and not answering.
Wait, sorry.
Over under 3 field goals.
For who?
Eagles.
Jake Elliott. Over under 3 field goals for Jake Elliott.
Under.
Andy has under. We've got lots of unders. We've got
pushing
unders.
Pushing it.
Pushing it. Sam's pushing
Yes.
it, so she's going 3. Just touchdowns. Andy only has touchdowns.
Yes.
A whole lot of extra points for Jake.
Whole lot of extra points. I will take a whole lot of extra points for Mr. Elliott today. Who is the Eagles' leader in receiving yards today? Deshaun. That is
would
his
be
answer
nice.
every week.
I'm going to say Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz today.
Yeah.
Dallas Goddard.
Dallas Goddard.
What
We
about
got
you?
Dallas Goddard. I'm going to go Miles.
Ooh.
Utilize that screen game a little today. If you're smart, utilize the screen game today. I swear to God, if we're sitting here yelling for screens in the second quarter,
I know.
I'm going to just keep drinking. Okay. Over under 100 yards on the ground for Miles Sanders.
Over. I say over as well.
Over. Let's get that over. Let's get that over.
I say
Hey, that's what they need to do today. Run the ball.
By the way, just so everybody's getting more positive, because we don't really have that much of positive vibes, we have Giovanni coming in at 12:15.
Super excited.
So
yeah, everyone's just everyone's a little sad right now.
we're not feeling it.
Positive
Not
all
feeling it.
day.
Yeah,
For other reasons.
Yeah, Joe's the most positive person out here, and it's for other reasons. All right. Leading fantasy points getter for the Eagles this week.
Josh McCown.
Get out of here.
Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders.
Carson Wentz. We got a Carson Wentz.
Yes.
Who is and while we're talking about fantasy, get those fantasy questions in as well. Get those fantasy questions in, because I know it's some tough decision making this week with all the injuries. So
I'm running with the theme today. I'm going to say Sanders is
Miles
the leading
Sanders. Miles
fantasy.
Sanders. We got another Miles Sanders in here. I love this guy. Philly fan PSU. Miles Sanders. I love that. Support it. I don't know the answer to that question. I got the Eagles. I got the Eagles inactives. Is he going to be their leading fantasy points getter?
No. Like, if he's out, Miles Sanders is going to have a big day.
Fair enough.
I think you will anyway.
One of the tight ends is going to be the leading fantasy points getter. We've got a comment here.
Okay.
All right. We've got some trivia. All right. All right. This is a sad.
Hey, we got some trivia. Listen.
Hey, we got some trivia.
Here we go.
Ready? When was the last time that the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Cincinnati Bengals? What year?
1969.
86.
No. Earlier.
Then 86.
Let's see if we have any
Later
comments.
than 86.
Give us your
Earlier.
comments. Let's play.
2009.
No.
92.
No. Higher.
2005.
Nope.
2002.
No.
Close. Lower.
2001. 2000.
Close.
2000.
Nope. Nobody's getting it. We have 04.
We had 2000 over here. The Eagles have not been beat the Cincinnati Bengals since the year 2000. 20 years ago. It's about time you get that done. All right. The Eagles and the Bengals have played 13 times in their history. What is the record that they have and who leads?
There's a tie.
You're right. There is a tie. There
we
is a
got
tie.
the
The
last
last digit.
9.
That's the first digit.
It's 3.
There we go.
And
yes.
led by who? The Bengals lead the series 9-3-1 in their history.
What, you can tie?
Yeah, you can tie. That game was brutal.
Here, you go ahead and read
Okay.
that one.
He did know
Next
that.
one.
What current prime time announcer is in the Bengals Hall of Fame? Sorry, I blocked my face.
Yeah.
So what current? Yeah,
So
the older
smart.
one's in the
So
back.
smart.
Chris Collinsworth.
You were just directly in front of that.
Get it? It was the Chris Collinsworth slide-in.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
We don't get
That's
We
great.
don't. Wait, no, that was good. We don't get the
That
Chris
was good.
Collinsworth slide in anymore because
Yes.
of coronavirus. They have a partition between them, so we don't get the slide in. It's really,
Yeah.
it's really upsetting. I appreciated that. Go ahead.
What is the name of the Bengals mascot? It's a Bengal, but what's his name?
It looks eerily
Yep.
similar to Nola's little toy she's got down there.
Bungle the Bengals.
And
Bungle
here's a
the
hint because
Bengal.
it is hard. It is hard. So it'd make more sense if the Saints mascot was named this. Do you know it?
She printed out our show
Oh,
sheet.
yeah. So
My
it'd
mom's
make
not
more
allowed to
sense
guess.
if the
She printed out the
Saints-
show sheet.
Marty?
No.
Marty.
Mardi Gras? Figure it
Oh,
out.
okay.
All right.
Figure it out.
You're
Okay.
above us today.
Yeah,
Joe.
you're-
You are above us.
This one's good. Can we change his name to
Bum
Bum
the
the
Bengal.
Bengal?
I like
Bum
it.
the Bengal. I like it.
Oh, wait, Callie, you were so close.
You're so close. So
What'd
close.
she say?
He said who dat, but it's not who dat. It's who day. Yes.
We got it. Nailed
The
it.
name of
I
the
don't know.
mascot's Houday?
Yeah.
Who
Who
Day.
day the Bengal. It makes no
think
sense.
other
I
than-
have
That
no
would make sense for the.
Yeah. Other than
Yeah.
Swoop, I will say, did you guys all see that video from Carolina of them talking about Sir Purr? That is easily one of the best. You didn't see that? So Robbie Anderson was just traded down there from the Jets. And he was like, oh, look at that cat in the stands. And one of the other players was like, dude, that's Sir Purr. And he was like, wait, you call him that? And he was like, yeah, it's his name, Sir Purr. Because he's
Okay.
a cat, like Purr.
Oh, that's actually cool.
But
I
it's
like
really,
it.
that's
Sir
a
Purr.
phenomenal
I like it.
name
I like it.
of that. All right, last one. When was the Bengals' last Super Bowl appearance? Bengals' last
Yes.
Super Bowl appearance.
86.
What number
Super Bowl?
25.
So close. No.
So close.
With the Patriots, though.
The Bengals' last Super Bowl appearance. To give you some context, the Super Bowl this year is 54.
23? 24.
Yes.
You're right. Super Bowl 23 was the
He
Bengals'
said
last
72,
Super Bowl.
88, 27.
27
So
's
close.
You guys were close.
So close. 27 was very close. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantasy football questions. Who's got fantasy football questions today? Pull them in. Also put your prop bets in there. Put your prop bets in.
Yeah,
Put
but
your oh goodness. You know, hey, I'm gonna let you know this is turned around. They can see you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was great.
that was
You
great.
can't see it on the Twitter and Facebook, but
Yeah.
what year was that? Do you remember what year that was?
It was like 86, 88.
86?
I forget which one.
I think it was 86.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I think it was 86.
It was around there.
It was 86. Also, we need to bring in this comment from earlier. We just need to address it.
Yeah, I saw it. I just didn't address it. But what are you gonna do? Hold on, we will turn.
Yeah,
this
we'll
on.
turn that back around. At this point, I don't know what you don't get. Your misogyny is showing. You should probably try
9808 Big
try
Joe.
better. You should try a little bit
I'm
better.
trying to look
All
at
right,
his
let's
picture.
see. Dallas Goedert or Zach Ertz? Standard scoring, no point per reception. What do you think?
tough.
Come here. Let's poll the group.
Standard scoring.
Standard scoring, no point per reception.
Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert or Zach Ertz?
Dallas Goedert.
Zach Zach Ertz. I love it.
Zach Ertz.
Okay, we'll go back.
We got a lot of Zach Ertz in
Okay,
here.
so but we have Andy who has Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's actually opinion or hope.
Andy's fantasy question for this week is my team going to continue to suck?
Oh, is my team going to continue to suck? That's possible.
To give some context around that, Andy has Deshaun Jackson, Carson Wentz, and Miles Sanders.
And Zach Ertz.
And Zach Ertz.
And Zach Ertz. So
All right.
he doesn't
Honestly,
have the best.
I'm feeling a Zach Ertz week.
I would like
feeling
it.
a Zach Ertz week because my thoughts are that I think Carson needs to step
Yep.
up, and I think Carson needs to have a big game. And if he's going to have a big game, he's going to be using Zach Ertz, and that's my gut feel for today.
Yeah, I agree. I already said that Carson needs to get back on track, not only for his own confidence, but for the fan base's confidence. And I think whenever that happens, to get his confidence back, he always targets Ertz. So I would say Zach Ertz today.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I think 100% Zach Ertz is my gut feel for the day. So I hope that helps. All right, here's another one. Do we trust Allen Robinson or do we play Kareem Hunt in the flex?
You play Kareem Hunt in the flex.
I totally agree. Play
I agree.
Kareem Hunt in the flex.
Who's he play this week, though? I feel like that also
I'm
goes
playing
in.
Kareem Hunt in
They
flex.
play the
already said
the
it.
Washington
Yes.
football team.
Oh.
I go with Kareem Hunt because they've got such a good 1-2 punch that both of them are going to have a good day.
Okay.
And I don't think it matters who they're playing on the
against
defensive
the
line.
Washington defense.
I still think that even regardless, I still think that is I think that's a good option.
Okay, I'm kind of leaning the other way because of that matchup.
Ooh, we're not helping you. I'm so sorry.
I know. So
We're
torn.
trying. We're giving you our analysis, if that
Yeah.
helps.
But I also, I think.
All right, who did the Bears play today? That's a better question. So Marty Williams, let us know who the Bears play today, and that'll
give
super
us better
help
context.
us and give us better context of what's going on.
I like you, Philly fan. How do we
Yeah.
press?
A-Rob, Washington secondary blows. Okay. Yeah, this dude is.
Yeah. Thank you.
Girl
Thank
power.
you.
I love that. Thank you
Girl power.
very much.
Dave power.
Philly fan PSU is tuned in with us every week, and he's constantly commenting. You're number one fan right now.
Yeah.
I love it.
Look, and his picture is Joel, fitting because Joel is a new dad.
Congratulations to Joel
We
Embiid.
forgot to mention that.
Congratulations to Joel Embiid.
He
The
said
man is a
first of
dad.
11. So
First of 11. Can you imagine having 11 children?
no, because we'd be the ones having the kids.
That's true. We'd be the
Yeah.
ones having kids. He just wants his soccer team. He doesn't actually have to have that.
Yeah.
That's aggressive. Also, the Phillies are still alive.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Technically.
Because Gabe Kapler did his thing last night and they lost to the Padres. So if the Phillies win today, Nola on the mound.
Yes.
Phillies win today. The Giants lose again to the Padres. And the Brewers lose to the Cardinals. Now,
Which both
the
of those
Cardinals,
things.
the Cardinals have everything to play for today. So they are going
Yeah.
to compete their butts off.
I think both of those could happen for the other teams to get the loss. But unfortunately, Aaron Nola on the mound does not give me the confidence because it's not our starters that are the problem. It's the bullpen.
Oh, fire.
You know what I mean?
Fire
So
the bullpen into the sun.
we'll see what happens. Tampa Bay, I mean, I know they've had their injuries, but they're really good. And I think people just kind of have that like Tampa Bay from the last couple years in their
Yeah.
mind still and think like, oh, Tampa Bay, who are they? No, they're actually pretty good. They won their division. So
Yeah. It's
it
so
concerns
easier
me.
said than done for the
Yeah.
Phillies to just do it. You'd think it's like, oh, you just have to win.
yeah, bringing this one into it. So Philly fan, again, commenting in, saying rather see them lose, more pressure to sign JT. But that press conference the other day did not look promising with the sign JT crowd.
No, when Matt Klentak says when we made that trade, we knew we were just trading for 2 years of JT and anything else is a bonus. Oh. And you just give up 6-0, and they're like, yeah, he competed well against us, but excuse me, you were so reluctant to trade 6-0 in the first place that.
And the fact is, when you traded him, he was a top prospect. He wasn't even in the league. So it's not like you traded him when he was already in his prime and you're like, he's on the down spiral. He was about to be his debut and then his prime. You know what I mean? So like, why would you trade that away for JT for just 2
I mean, here's the thing. You traded away for the best catcher in baseball. And all he's done is show you
that he's the best
that he is the best catcher in baseball. So, Allen Robinson in Atlanta. Going Trubisky in some of the daily games. All right, that's the comment we were looking for. They're playing in Atlanta. Who the Falcons? They had the first player case of COVID
they did
today, but luckily no one else has tested positive. So it seems like they're handling things pretty well. But we're about to get super fun in here right now.
Yes, bring in all the positivity.
This is what we're about to do.
A Philly favorite.
My favorite. What's up, Gio? How are you?
Oh, what's up, dude?
Hi.
Everybody's saying hi to you over here.
Everyone's super excited. Yeah, Sam needs to come in.
Yeah.
Get nice and
I
close.
like the hair. You got your Jalen Mills hair going on.
Freshly dyed, I see. Get ready for today?
Yeah.
I like it. Do you think that's going to give them the hype that they need to get the win?
Hopefully. I got my green hair and my lucky Super Bowl ring.
I like
it.
And speaking of that, Gio, so I wore my where's the camera? Zach Ertz jersey for the first time this year. This is the jersey I wore the entire 2017-2018 season when they won the Super Bowl and did not wash it once.
And I think that I wore a Pennsylvania t-shirt that I wore at every game that season, including to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we all saw what happened. So Gio, give us your keys to the game for today. What do the Eagles need to do on both sides of the ball to get the win?
I think that they need to balance out the run game and the pass game. And I think they need to use Zach Ertz. And I think that our defense needs to put a lot of pressure on the Bengals. And I think that they need to try to intercept it. And, yeah, I want to see a Jalen Mills interception today.
I love it.
Bookmark that.
Yeah.
If we see a Jalen Mills interception,
Gio.
It's Gio.
Yes. But no, we kind of said the same thing. So earlier I said that I think that Carson really needs to have that big game this week just to get not only his own confidence back in himself, but also the fan base confidence back in himself. And I think saying that means Ertz is kind of going to be a part of that. That's his person that lifts his confidence. So I agree with you. I think Ertz is going to have a big game today.
Yeah, we got a lot of fantasy football questions that were Dallas Goedert or Zach Ertz.
There we go.
Love it. And that's the guy that's going to step up and do it. That's the guy that's going to step up and do it. All right, Gio, what's your final score prediction for today? What do you think is going to happen?
28-7.
I like it.
I like it.
Shut him down completely.
I love
Fletcher Cox is back today. So he's playing. I like it.
All right, so here's what we're going to do, Gio. Every week we've been doing prop bets and just throwing them out to our listeners, throwing them out to the people that we're watching the game with. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw them out to you, and I trust your predictions more than anybody's in the world.
Yeah.
So who do you think is going to have more yards today, Joe Burrow or Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz.
No hesitation. Who's going to have a bigger day, the 2 tight ends for the Bengals or the 2 tight ends for the Eagles?
2 tight ends for the Eagles.
No
I
hesitation.
agree with that one.
Good.
I agree with it.
Over under 3 field goals for Jake Elliott.
Under.
Ooh, he's going
Lots
for the
of
big
extra
score.
points?
The big scores.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of extra points. Go ahead.
Who's the Eagles' leader in receiving yards today?
Zach Ertz.
I said the same, Gio. We're on it.
Here's the thing. If Zach Ertz, again, we're coming to you, and it's going to be because – it's not going to be because of you. It's going to be because of Giovanni.
I read Gio's mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
We already asked that one. Over under 100 yards for Miles Sanders.
Over.
I think so, too.
I love you,
Run
Giovanni.
game's going to be a big part. I think Zach Ertz is going to be big to help Carson out, get him back on track. And then the run game is going to be huge today.
100%. Who is the leading fantasy points getter for the Eagles today?
Miles Sanders.
I said the same thing.
And again, it's not going to be because of you.
No. I know.
It doesn't – you don't matter.
I'm going to get overshadowed by Gio.
All right, Gio. before you go, we want you to do a big, huge Eagles cheer with us. You
Yeah.
ready? Here we go. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Yes!
That's
Awesome.
what we needed. We needed your positivity.
We need your
It's
positivity.
gray out. The team needs you.
It's gray out here. It's gray
Yes.
at the link. We needed your positivity. So that's going to wrap up our pregame show for today. Thank you again. Giovanni, can you tell everybody where they can find you, where they can follow you, and what podcast of yours they need to listen to?
You can find me on the Eagles Brawl Philly Sports with Giovanni. I'm gonna have 4th and John on this week. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Awesome. And we were on with Giovanni last week, and we
Yes.
had so
A
much
blast.
fun. And you, my friend, are growing into a wonderful podcast host. I listened to your first episode too, and you, even from episode 1 to 2, you are just growing and growing and growing. And I can't wait to hear this episode this week with 4th and John. So thank you for joining us today and giving us some positivity. We will love to have you on again later in the season to keep up our positivity.
Yeah, if this is good luck, Gio, you better be ready to come back.
You're coming back every time if they win this game. But thank you again, everybody, for tuning in to week 3 of Babes on Broad Live. Make sure to check out our episodes this week. Make sure to check out Giovanni's episode this week. But until then, cheers and go Birds.